They call it flowers in both hands, having two absolute baddies fighting for your attention. On the left, Chiwa plays the veteran childhood friend card, banking on years of shared history to guilt trip him. On the right, Masuzu drops the official girlfriend nuke, asserting dominance like a raid boss entering the chat. But let's be real for a second. This isn't a bouquet. It is a box of fireworks, and the fuse is already lit. Eita is looking back and forth, realizing his peace and quiet is about to get game ended. The battlefield shifts to lunch. Masuzu offers a bento made with love, which apparently looks like radioactive sludge. The sheer aura coming off that box is enough to trigger a hazmat response. Chiwa fires back with her special dish. It is literally charcoal. Pretty sure eating that counts as self-deletion. She is trying to send him to the lobby with a single bite. Poor Eita realizes this isn't a meal. It is an assassination attempt. He is trapped in a culinary scene of carnage, frantically calculating his survival odds while staring death in the face. Let's rewind the tape about a month. Eita was already standing at the top of the food chain. First place, 486 points. While the NPCs were busy glazing him up in the background, he barely acknowledged them. In his head, he is already calculating the next win. He just smirked, knowing he was the main character. He made a vow right then and there. While these losers chased romance, he would chase the grind. No distractions, no girls, just pure unadulterated success. He walked down the hall with pure tunnel vision, completely ignoring the world until he immediately crashed into a plot device. He tried to play it cool and return a dropped notebook, but he walked straight into a cringe compilation. These two were flirting so hard it should be illegal. Look at his face. That is the look of pure disgust. He is physically repulsed by the hormones in the air. To Eita, love isn't magic. It's a virus. He remembers when his parents used to act like that, right before they split up and left him to rot. Now he stands in an empty kitchen cooking for one, swearing he will never drink the Kool-Aid again. So he created the ultimate manifesto. The 3 commandments of Eita. 1. Stay on top. 2. Romance is a trap. 3. Make 0 mistakes. His eyes were set on medical school, and nothing else mattered. He was locked in, focused, ready to ascend. Then he heard the scream. Chiwa was in the backyard swinging a bamboo sword like a maniac. Yeah, his peaceful life just got canceled. And there she is, the disruption to his peace. Chiwa Harusaki. She has been his neighbor since 1st grade, so he is basically serving a life sentence with her. He asks the obvious question, why are you swinging a bamboo sword in the yard? Her logic is flawless. Because I have one. You really cannot argue with that level of genius. She is small, loud, and annoying. He calls her Chihuahua for a reason, and honestly, the shoe fits perfectly. He tries to play the responsible future doctor. He warns her to watch her form so she does not blow out her back before high school starts. But she misreads the concern completely. She swings wide, catches him staring, and drops the trap card. You just want to see some fan service, don't you? Eita panics. He screams that he has 0 interest in a kid's laundry. She just laughs and pokes his cheek because she knows she absolutely won that round. They head to the market. He is on a mission for dinner ingredients, while she is on a speed run for diabetes. Just look at that basket. It is overflowing with absolute garbage. He drops the dog nickname again, and she puffs up her cheeks like an angry pufferfish. It is the classic pout maneuver, but the goofball act is just a layer. Back in the day, she was a demon in the dojo. Size did not matter. She was obsessed with becoming a master. Summer of 3rd year, she was aiming for nationals. She was ready to take over the world. Then, reality hit like a truck. Literally. She got crushed under cargo in a massive accident, and it took major surgery just to keep her in the server. She recovered, but the doctor's orders were final. No more intense sports. The dream was sent to the lobby. She never complains about it though. She just straps on her wheelies and challenges him to a race like nothing happened. Eita watches her go, genuinely worried about her spine. But you have to respect the hustle. The girl is unstoppable. Later that night, things got domestic. Chiwa was absolutely demolishing Eita's cooking, inhaling calories like a vacuum cleaner. Between bites, she threatened him with a terrifying offer. I will cook for you next time. Eita's survival instincts kicked in immediately. He remembered her last attempt, a bubbling purple sludge that violated the Geneva Convention. He mentally calculated the odds of survival and chose diplomacy. He begged for his life, so she pivoted to the new meta, the transfer student. Masuzu Natsukawa, the silver-haired raid boss with maxed-out charisma stats. She was rich, gorgeous, and had already rejected a double-digit number of simps. Eita wasn't buying the hype though. He analyzed the pattern and realized girls like that are just walking red flags. He decided to camp in his safe zone and ignore the drama. Chiwa went back to face-tanking her dinner, completely oblivious to the 4D chess going on in his head. They moved to the living room where Chiwa started crying over a romance manga like she just lost a ranked match. Eita watched her breakdown and let a dangerous thought slip past his firewall. He wondered, what if we actually had that kind of plot armor? He ran the simulation in his head. The baseball championship win, the dramatic confession in the rain, the childhood friend actually winning for once. Then he snapped back to reality. Absolute cringe. He dragged that file to the recycle bin and emptied it. He decided to shatter the fourth wall. He looked her dead in the eye and said, "Childhood friends never win." That is hard-coded into the game engine. Chiwa refused to read the patch notes. She started listing off her stats like proximity and backstory duration. She spiraled into a delusion of grandeur, imagining herself as the protagonist of a reverse harem anime. Eita laughed in her face. You? A harem? You are 10 years too early to unlock that achievement. He didn't stop there, he went for the critical hit. He roasted her entire build. 0 points in makeup, negative charisma. The girl owns 5 pairs of gym jerseys and sits like a truck driver on a long haul. She has the physical stats of an athlete but the social awareness of a potato. Chiwa couldn't tank the emotional damage. She screamed, called him a dummy, and went into a full rage state. Eita realized he might have stacked too many debuffs on her at once, but Chiwa has instant respawn timers. She bounced back with a terrifying new quest objective. She pumped her fist and declared war on her single status. Starting tomorrow, she is going to farm popularity until every guy in school falls for her. Eita just stood there buffering. He had no idea he just triggered the apocalypse event. June hits like a truck. Chiwa's popularity campaign is crashing harder than a crypto scam. Word on the street is she is spamming invites to random guys, getting dragged to the guidance counselor for harassment. Total cringe. Meanwhile, the rest of the male population is down bad. They are praying to the gods for a seat next to the class queen, Natsukawa. Guess who pulled the golden ticket? Our boy Eita. He hands over a printout. He tries to play it cool, but his internal monologue is screaming. He knows he is sitting on a throne of lies. Every head in the classroom snaps toward him in slow motion. You can practically see the elimination markers hovering over their heads. Eita feels like he is actively taking piercing damage just by existing in this zip code. The air in the room gets heavy. It is suffocating him with pure, unadulterated jealousy. Kaoru smells blood in the water. He sees a business opportunity. He tells Eita to auction off the seat to the highest bidder. Eita is sweating bullets. He calculates the risk and decides he is ready to trade it for a half-eaten sandwich just to stop the glare attacks. He does not want this smoke. Focus shifts to Chiwa. Kaoru points out the obvious strategy. If she just zipped her mouth and sat still like a shrine statue, she would actually be cute. Too bad she has 0 chill. She refuses to play the silent type. Then Kaoru drops some deep lore. Apparently, a kendo captain legend confessed to Chiwa back in middle school. Eita is shook. He did not think she had that kind of pull. A certified warrior wanted her, and she rejected him. Kaoru looks at Eita with a grin. He jokes that it would be a real tragedy if Eita got rejected by her. He is just totally roasting his friend's hypothetical failure. The bell rings. It saves Eita from having to clap back, saved by the bell. The bell rings and saves his life, but the hallway is a total death trap. Masuzu Natsukawa, the school's top-tier beauty, intercepts him. She drops a lethal invite to walk home together. She stomps into the classroom, radiating main character energy. Kidou starts sweating bullets. He desperately scans the room, looking for the person she is actually talking to. He prays for a human shield, but reality hits him like a truck. He is in the back row. There is absolutely nowhere to hide from this interaction. His brain goes into total lockdown. He analyzes the enemy threat level and recites his anti-simp manifesto inside his head. Beauty is a trap, trust is for suckers. He tries to act cool, but the pressure cracks him like an egg. He flails his arms around and shouts a rejection loud enough to wake the dead. Most girls would cry and run away, but she just stares at him. She calls his performance disappointing, with the emotional range of a brick wall. She does not quit. Day 2, she asks again. Day 3, she is back. She is spawn camping his desk like a relentless NPC. Kidou finally snaps. He accuses her of running a punishment game. He knows the popular kids love to prank the loner, and he refuses to play along. The mood shifts instantly. Masuzu stands by the curtains and lets the silence hang heavy in the air. Kidou demands an answer, his nerves completely fried. She hesitates and looks down. She asks if he is ready for the truth. Kidou leans in, desperate to decode her mind games. The wind catches the curtains, setting the perfect anime stage. She looks him dead in the eye and drops the nuke. She likes him. The class gasps in collective shock. Kidou's brain completely blue screens. If you want to see how he survives this, comment part 2 below. Eita's brain completely short circuits. He stares at her, trying to process if he's hallucinating, because the last time he got a confession, he was still learning the alphabet. He is running the calculations in his head and getting a syntax error. The classroom erupts into chaos. The NPCs lose their minds, screaming and gossiping, turning the room into a total war zone. It is absolute pandemonium. But Masuzu stays in character. She hits him with the shy girl routine, blushing and claiming she is very attracted to him. She is selling this lie with Oscar-winning dedication. You almost have to respect the hustle. The crowd roars like they just watched a gladiator execution. Eita tries to backpedal, sweating bullets and asking what she actually means. He is looking for an exit strategy, but the doors are locked. So she decides to nuke his reputation. She looks him dead in the eye, winks, and announces she is thinking about naughty things with him. Eita realizes this ritual is spiraling out of control. She is playing 4D chess while he is playing checkers. She leans in close, invading his personal space like she owns the deed to the building. She closes the gap until he can practically count her eyelashes. She grips his sleeve, playing the shy victim who is afraid of rumors, which is hilarious since she is the one broadcasting this in 4K. The audacity is off the charts. Then she drops the critical hit, "Carry me." Eita freezes, realizing she is not flirting. She is just plagiarizing a cheesy romance drama script. Absolute menace behavior. Eita screams to the heavens that he hates beautiful girls, yet here he is, hauling Masuzu around like a pack mule. He is grinding his teeth hard enough to spark a fire while she just giggles, enjoying the free ride. She plays the polite card and tells him to restrain himself. Yeah, right. He snaps back instantly, demanding the actual truth. His knuckles turn white as he grips her legs, suspicion boiling over in his gut. He locks eyes and fires the million-dollar question, why lie? He is ready to shatter this fake romance narrative into 1,000 pieces. She immediately clutches the victim card, whispering about how cruel he is. She claims it took courage to confess, summoning crocodile tears without shedding a single drop of water. Oscar-worthy performance. She asks if he really wants the truth. He screams yes, loud enough to wake the neighbors. For a split second, her mask slips. Her mouth curls into a tiny, sinister smirk. Heh, that is the sound of checkmate. She has already dug the pit, and he just walked right into it. Now, walking side by side, she absolutely nukes him with insults. She calls him a chicken, chipping away at his ego until his spine practically dissolves. She leans in with a smug grin, asking if he likes that. His brain immediately flags red alert. She is acting way too different out here in the wild. She finally admits he saw through her plan. She claims she had no choice, but you can tell a much bigger, nastier play is loading in the background. She spells it out in bold letters. That confession was a total lie, hair tuck included. She just seized power without firing a single shot. She studies him like a lab rat, calling him different from other boys. In her language, that translates to, "Congratulations, you are a useful pawn in my scheme." He tries a smug shrug, muttering that her words hardly sound like praise. He is pretending to be unfazed, but internally he is frantically trying to calculate her angle. She clears her throat and takes command of the conversation. He tightens his focus, bracing himself for the inevitable info dump. She throws an arm up like a ring announcer, asking where to begin. Buckle up, folks, it is reveal time. Her smile promises absolute danger. If you want to see how deep this rabbit hole goes, comment fake confession below for part 2. Suddenly, the air turned into a blender. Razor-sharp tapes flew at them like homing missiles. She swung off the bar like a circus acrobat, totally graceful. Meanwhile, Eita barely kept his nose attached to his face. He saw the edge coming and shifted his weight just in time, calculating the trajectory to avoid getting sliced. Then the wind decided to deliver a critical hit of absolute culture. A rogue gust caught her skirt, and Eita's eyes locked onto the target against his will. It wasn't his fault, it was just physics being a bro. His brain completely crashed. He ran the physics simulation instantly and realized the inventory slot looked empty. Absolute panic mode engaged. He tried to process the visual data, but the server returned a 404 error. She saw his soul leaving his body and clarified immediately. Yes, she is wearing them, but the damage was already done. You can't unsee the void once you stare into it. He refused to chill. He started ranting that this mystery would ignite a war between the Cotton faction and the Silk faction. He literally predicted a global apocalypse over her laundry choice. The man was ready to draft a peace treaty right there. She looked him dead in the eye with zero chill. Any world that fragile deserves to get deleted. She walked off, leaving him absolutely traumatized and questioning the fabric of reality. Masuzu started flexing her stats like a pro gamer. 58 confessions in 2 months. She was drowning in attention and hating every second of it. Eita realized she wasn't bragging, she was complaining about the lag. Eita looked at her like she had just spoken alien. He gave her the standard normie advice, telling her to just pick a winner from the loot box and play house. The suggestion made her eyes go dead, like someone pulled the plug on her router. She asked what a girlfriend even does. That was the trigger. Eita exploded, ranting that he would rather get sent to the lobby than become one of those cringe couples polluting the streets on Christmas. Masuzu nodded and cranked the crazy dial to 10. She declared love a dangerous disease that leads to crime scenes and broken homes. Eita started sweating bullets. He realized this girl wasn't just cold, she was absolutely radicalized. She compared romance to a brainwashing cult. Eita finally put the puzzle pieces together. She didn't want a lover, she wanted a human shield to tank the damage. A twisted grin stretched across her face. He had figured out her master plan. She looked way too happy about exploiting the game mechanics. But he still had one question. Why did it have to be him? She got uncomfortably close, invading his personal hitbox. She claimed they were kindred spirits because they both treated romance like a contagious virus. Then she roasted him. She admitted she only felt safe because she assumed he batted for the other team. While he was still recovering from that emotional damage, she dropped the hammer. She demanded he become her boyfriend right now. He scratched his head and gave her a hard no. He wasn't signing up for that war. He listed the consequences. The jealousy from the boys and the gossip from the girls would make him go bald from stress. She went quiet. She looked him in the eye and played the mirror card, admitting she was just as terrified of the drama as he was. She poked a finger into his chest. He was the perfect candidate because he had zero interest in love. But the real reason was darker. She knew he would never betray her, and she warned him not to even think about escaping, or it was game over. She slammed the notebook onto the desk like a judge passing a death sentence. Eita stared at the cover, his brain buffering, but she just hit him with a hair flip that screamed victory. She knew she held all the cards. She cracked it open to the page marked Secret Record. Inside was pure, unfiltered cringe. We are talking sketches of himself surrounded by sparkles with the caption, "I am cool." Eita felt his soul leave his body as the shame hit critical mass. It got worse, much worse. She read aloud some edgelord poetry about rain cleansing his sins. He tried to cap, claiming he just had a bad cold back then, but the tactical logs exposed him. Why do I carry firecrackers? To fight terrorists. This man was living in a completely different dimension. At first, he actually laughed at the absolute idiocy of the writer. Then the realization hit him like a freight train carrying a load of bricks. That idiot was him. He started sweating bullets and demanded answers. She told him she bought his shame for 300 yen at a used bookstore. Then it clicked. He realized his fatal mistake. He had hidden his diary inside an animal guide box set and played himself. He lunged across the table to snatch it back, but she shut him down instantly. Physical recovery was useless. She had already scanned every single page to her PC. Even if he burned the book to ash, the PDF lives forever. Now that she owned his soul, she named her price. Be my boyfriend. He called her a demon, but when she threatened to hit upload, he folded faster than a cheap lawn chair. Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say. She sealed the hostage situation with a plastic smile and a request that sent shivers down his spine. Call me Masuzu. Oh, and then came the kicker. I love you. It wasn't a confession, it was pure psychological warfare. The sun came up, but Eita's nightmare was just loading level 2. The entire student body was already buzzing like a beehive, and he was the honey. She didn't just walk with him, she clamped onto his arm like a vice grip. She dragged him through the main hall, forcing every single guy to stare at Eita's sweating face. He could feel the crosshairs on his back. He knew he was getting sent to the lobby before lunch. He had checked his closet a dozen times, hoping he was just losing it. But the box was empty. She wasn't bluffing. She really held the keys to his social deletion. The rumors mutated faster than a virus. People couldn't believe Natsukawa was dating a total NPC, and naturally, the news reached the one person guaranteed to crash the party. Chiwa just entered the chat.